So great to be back. Happy 2013, everyone. So, the question that I have in front of me goes a little something like this, and I'm sort of paraphrasing. This person wants to know what happens when you are being bullied and forced out of your job. How do you handle it, and what do you do? Most people don't know that I have been forced out of a couple of jobs too. And one of the reasons why I am so adamant about my own time management is because I am a perfectionist when it comes to being a professional. And when there are people around me that are not professional, I buck because I have been professional for a long time. I don't know anybody else who's been collecting letters of recommendation since they were 14. This girl right here. Okay, so I actually have examples of things that have happened to me where I've been pushed out of jobs, bullied out of jobs, and I want to talk about it today. I haven't talked about this ever, but I like to talk about it today, and here we go. Once upon a time, I worked at UCLA. That's right, I worked at UCLA. And one day, I was going to the parking structure to my car, and as I walked through the doorway, I was grabbed by a man, put in a bear hug, and I didn't know what the man was going to do. I screamed, I fought, I ran, I called the police. When the police came, I was in my car with the door locked, crying, and the man that grabbed me was about to jump on the bus, the Santa Monica Big Blue bus. They arrested him. They never told me what happened with him or whatever. And I was terrified. They wouldn't change my parking. However, people that work at UCLA that are morbidly obese, they have the right to park right next to where their office is. I didn't have that luxury. I had to continue to park where someone tried to grab me and probably try to rape me. I had to continue to park there every day and walk down to my car, which was not close to my office. And then I was put into counseling. When I was put into counseling, they gave me some medicine for anxiety. I started to take the medicine for anxiety, and then I was told by my job that I could not sleep during lunch because I was afraid to go to my car to go to sleep, but the medication that I took for anxiety caused me to be drowsy. So you see the pattern there. I had received above expectations on all of my write-ups, and now all of a sudden I was being treated as if I were a problem employee. I have not one, but 2 police reports. That's right, because a couple of months later, after I had been attacked in the parking structure, in the stairwell of the parking structure, I was walking through Westwood Village, got to Rite Aid, went inside, and who is inside? That's right, the man that grabbed me. He happened to be a transient. They let him go. They never told me that they let him go. And so I'm, again, in this element, having problems at my job, trying to walk at lunch, and now I run into the same guy. He comes up to me, starts throwing coins at me, and clearly remembers who I am. Now I'm embarrassed all over again. To make a long story really short, I ended up suing UCLA and winning because they pushed me out of my job. My boss, who I thought I was cool with, but you kind of never know until the tables are turned. She pretty much said that I was a horrible employee, said a whole bunch of horrible things about me. This is someone whose 40th birthday party I planned, even though that wasn't part of my job. And I'm sure there are a lot of you who have a job where you do things that are totally not in the job description and you act more like a personal assistant even though that's not your job. Yeah, I did that. I took my job to the 1000th degree because I really took what I did seriously. And they had to pay me. Okay, that's incident 1. Incident 2, once upon a time, I wanted to be a headhunter. And in the world of headhunting, you sometimes have to work yourself up. And so I started off as an executive assistant, and I said, I'm going to work my way up so that they put you like on a career track and all this other type of stuff. So I said, I'm going to work myself up to be a headhunter. So the job was very, very intense, like severely intense. And there were a lot of proprietary systems that you had to learn, know, and understand. And on top of that, my job was to take a 2-page resume and turn it into a 10-page exaggerated resume. And so imagine that you have to do about 10 of these a day, plus you have to call the clients for your boss to set up the video conferences, or if that client is going to meet with one of our clients, then I have to set up the travel, the accommodations, everything. I was really good at my job. When I say I was really good at my job, I was really good at my job. Like, I cannot begin to describe to you how good at my job I was. And one day, I happened to go into my boss's email because one of my jobs was to clean his email out. I went into his email, and lo and behold, I find a letter that he's written to the HR department about me. I hadn't done anything. Like, I came to work early every day, not on time, early, every day. I did not work past my lunchtime. I pretty much was a by the book type person, very organized, very structured in my time management, very productive when I worked. And so I'm reading this write-up and I'm like, I can't believe this. So I printed it out. So my boss and HR are going back and forth about how they're going to, pull me in the office and how they're going to talk to me and so on and so forth. Why did they give me access to that man's email? Why was that a part of my job? Because they wrote me up. Here's the write-up. And the write-up is 3.5 pages, right? 3.5 pages of a write-up. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my rebuttal. My rebuttal is complete with emails. I talk about every single incident that I'm being called on. There's like 3 or 4 of them, right? I talk about every single incident that I'm being called on. Not only do I talk about it, but I provide in my addendum emails to and from. I have, 30 attachments. Okay, so I basically was written up on January 7th. By February 4th, this is my separation agreement because they basically didn't want to fire me, but after having a 30-page rebuttal to a write-up that was complete BS, they paid me to leave. Now, I handle things probably a bit different than other people. You may not tell, or you may not be able to tell by the way that I conduct myself, but I don't handle stress very well. I'm not a lover of stress. I don't deal with stress. I eliminate situations in my life that could even create or cause stress. With that being said, when you're in a work environment where you're being treated less than pleasant, or you're in a work environment where you're being treated unfairly, you're being bullied, one of the things that I tell people to do is always have a place, even if it's your car, if it's the bathroom, if it's walking outside, have a place where you can go and decompress, because decompressing is so important. A lot of people say, oh my God, if you're having a problem, find another job. Yeah, in this economy, that'll happen. It's very difficult to practice what you preach when you're not actually in that situation. But because I've been in that situation, I'm going to tell you what I did. I basically didn't let what other people said about me I didn't take that personally. The reason why I didn't take it personally is because I knew that my work ethic was stellar. I knew that my job performance was stellar. And somebody else feeling a bit, I don't know, sensitive about their own job performance and their own productivity, they weren't going to allow me to feel bad about myself just because they were in another position of power. One thing you have to realize is that hurting people hurt people. And hurting people get up and go to work every day like everybody else. And so you may be in a situation where you're being bullied or you're being harassed, and it has absolutely, positively nothing to do with you. Number one, keep notes. I am one of those people that always covers my backside. I keep notes. I write my own notes. I print out emails that I send out, emails that I bring in. When I was in a work environment, I made sure that I had my own file that I kept. If there are things that are sent to you that people, let's say you have a coworker and your coworker is sending you an email and they're thanking you for helping them with something, make sure you print that out, because you never know in corporate America when emails just start to disappear. Yes, that happened to me. My emails just started to disappear and nobody could figure out where they went. Aha! But I had already printed out copies. And so when I printed out my own copies, that gave me my own power. And it's like you have to be able to fight fire with fire, but in a nice way. And you have to be able to say to yourself, okay, this is an environment that I have to be in at the present time. This is an environment that helps me with my livelihood, helps me to pay my bills and to be happy. And so I need to do the things I need to do, right? No stress. Stay calm. Don't get all like this at your workplace. None of that is professional. No one is going to respect you no matter how right you are. Okay? Take some time to start writing down the things that you need. If you're in a position where you have time off, or you're nearby, your office is nearby, a staffing agency, I would suggest that you stop by a staffing agency. There have been people that I know that have gotten a job while having a job. And I hear and I know for a fact that it's a lot easier to get a job when you have a job. So those are my suggestions based on my own experience. I'm an entrepreneur. I do employ people. I try very hard not to be a tyrant of a boss. I try not to micromanage the people that I employ. And the people that I employ are just like me, people that love their families, want to work from home. And so I trust them enough with my business to say, here's a small portion of it. This is what I want you to do with it. This is how I expect to get it back. You do that in your own work environment, and when people bully you and when people harass you, you start taking notes and you keep notes. And if things happen to whereas you are pushed out of your job, and things happen to whereas you are bullied on the job, there are a number of lawyers, I guarantee you, that will be willing to help you, and you'd help them out by having detailed notations on so-and-so date at so-and-so time. I got a call from so-and-so. On so-and-so date at so-and-so time, so-and-so said so-and-so. Keep notes of everything, because those notes are going to be your line of defense. I hope that this helps. And until next time, just stay positive, because I know how difficult it is to be in a negative work environment, and that's why I created it.